is it really correct? Because Prime Minister has broken his silence. But is it really correct, to equate what's happening in Manipur in context of the women? We understand that the violence becomes etched on women's body when it comes to fight between communities. It's a pet. This is the ugly patriarchy at full display. What we have witnessed, but to have this comparison from Rajasthan to Manipur, aren't those two different cases, peaches and apples?
Absolutely, there's just no comparison. And what happened in Rajasthan is also a massive shame. No, there's no denying that somebody who has been brutalized. And police doesn't take action. It is something like, you can go back 50 years, you can fast forward situation 50 years.
Correct.
The same situation will happen. Police doesn't take action, and your caste bias, everything reflects in the way that rape victim is behaved with and all. But I would not make the comparison between what happened in Manipur and what happened in Rajasthan. These are two completely different crimes. And what happened in Manipur is.
Do you think the center is rattled by what appeared in social media? Has the ruling dispensation rattled completely?
Absolutely. No two ways about it, Karthike. What happened, what appeared on social media yesterday, forget us who have been covering this for such a long time. I received so many calls and so many WhatsApp messages. People wanted to see, wanted to confirm whether this is real or not. And, many couldn't digest that, that this is happening in India, and this is happening. And the unfortunate part is that, this happened on 4th. It took police 11 more days to lodge an FIR. And these women were not like, the mob entered the home, dragged them out and all, which is an equally bestial act. The reason I'm making this distinction is that they were snatched away from a police party which was there. If police, the law enforcers, and anybody who knew about it and didn't act, or action has been taken only in the last 48 hours just because the video has come out, are equally guilty of this particular act which has come out. Because people may try to play politics, do whatever you want to, but the fact is that what happened is so horrifying, Karthike, and so indefensible. And what really makes me nervous, Karthike, is that we have just seen perhaps the first glimpse of what might have happened in the last 60 days.
Yesterday I felt that, it's like a Nirbhaya movement, but it's such a sad thing to feel that, if this country requires Nirbhaya movement to be shocked into action, that violence needs to be etched on a woman's body for people to wake up and realize what has happened. And the second feeling I had was, because most of, this is not the first time I have seen a video like that. I had seen number of previous videos, Brijesh, where the videos of beheading, videos of people being mutilated, I had this feeling somehow that at least now people know what is happening in Manipur. I know there is a legal part to this video. Action will be taken against a platform. The government has issued a directive, but somehow this video has actually shocked the conscience of this country. Somehow the attention which was not there on Manipur, I'm just telling you what I felt, when I was talking to you yesterday between 7 p.m. to 10 o'clock till we decided to drop every news from 11 a.m. onwards and just do Manipur today. I was just thinking, chalo, कई बार जिसे कहते हैं ना कि ये फीलिंग आई कम से कम ये चीज़ सामने तो आई. And the second thing I felt was lot of women are at the forefront of the protest in Manipur. I was just thinking, but today I would see if women can come together, bypassing the community attachment and protest together. It's like I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing that feeling with you, and I'll wait today. I'll wait today. देखूंगा आज मैं कि can women come out? Can the gender axis, पढ़ते हैं लेकिन होगा नहीं, हो जाए तो बहुत अच्छा होगा. Can at the level of gender, women can come and cross over that identity, element and come together on the issue of gender. Yes, Ashok, you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to make one very important point, is that look, what really happened yesterday, or the video that went viral on the social media, has not just shocked the conscience of the nation, but has also forced the Prime Minister of India to break his silence on the issue. The Supreme Court has also taken cognizance. But one important thing always slips our mind is the issue of internet shutdown in the state. It's been almost 80 days. You see, why did it take so long for this video to surface? Because there's no internet in the state. There could be hundreds of such horrific incidents that could be taking place in the state, but it doesn't get reported. There seems to be a communication blockade which has been put in place by the state government. The state government has reasons. They believe that if the internet in the state is restored, it will result in fake news, disinformation, misinformation.
And mind you, that this is also a result of a fake news. As what has been reported, that this incident is also a result of a fake news which was percolated, where a woman was showing being defiled, saying that cookies defiled a Maiti woman, and 2 days, 4 days or 7 days later, this particular horrifying incident took place. And later on, that video was found to be fake, because the woman's video which was shown was not from Manipur, but it was a video which was it was from an incident in Delhi. So, the fake news played its part in this.
See, I understand what fake news does. There have been issues of killing in Meghalaya, tourists being killed because of fake news. I understand that, Today, media is the villain. You look at OTT platform, media it really has the bad rep. Afar dekhiye, scoop dekhiye, it's bad rep. But I understand that what you are saying. Madam Guite, to you, let me just read out the details. We had put it out on the screen. I'm reading out from my computer. Manipur police arrest one of the main accused in the sexual violence case of May 4th in Thubal. A police source has told the newspaper the accused has been identified as Huiram Hirodas Singh, a resident of Pechi Awang Lekai, and the raids continue. Do you think that this is suffice? Shouldn't there be a commission to look into the issues, incidents and events of violence against women in Manipur?
Exactly. There should be a proper commission and to look into all these violence against women and girls and children during this entire conflict. And now I'm surprised to listen to the bites that you play out, talking about, all these members of Rajya Sabha coming out, speaking against the violence. Where were their voice since 4th May, when the violence was continuing? And it took, this video to surface, actually to everyone to speak it up. And coincidentally, fortunately, unfortunately, it coincides with the parliament session which begins today. So, and then the Prime Minister also finally spoken up. And besides the commission that you are saying, I would say this is not done by cowardly mob. They are by daring mob who are not respecting the Indian laws. And from day one, I've been saying that the CM is fully responsible and must step down. The situation, to bring the situation under control, no matter what the political compulsions are, he has to step down.
Are you saying that his position now stands in
and and then the harrowing news which has come from the testimony of these two girls, where that Manipur police were present at that time when this incident was happening, and they were a mute spectator to the entire incident. So what can we say about this?
Rami, this incident also tells us about how ineffective the police as an institution has been. Yes, mobs are organized, and I don't want to. This is your domain, low intensity riots. That famous study by Paul Brass, where no riot can take place unless and until people in power or close to power keep that temperature boiling at the right. To keep the water boiling at the right temperature. If they are not involved, then the riot cannot take. There's nothing called a spontaneous riot. This cannot be. This tells us that the cycle of violence is vested in the structures of power in Manipur today. whether they are in power or outside power electorally.
Karthikeya, you're quite right. What can one say about this situation? You know, it was a matter of time that incidents like this would come out and shock the nation collectively, and that's what it's done. But of course, you know, one cannot take responsibility away any longer from what you know, the powers that be in Manipur should have done. They were delayed. You know, this conflict should have never gone on for this long. You know, one of the hopes that we sort of, you know, held on to was that the violence is tapering. But this is the repercussion of conflict. This is the repercussion of prolonged emotional impact on this society. And of course, it's, you know, it's completely condemnable. But we've seen this happen time after time in a conflict situation that has not been managed the way it should have been. Where it started from, you know, inclusion in a scheduled tribe list, or a land issue, or an illegal immigration issue, and where has it reached? You know, one of my questions, like you said, you know, the responsibility has to be laid on the shoulders of the police in Manipur, because they are supposed to establish the rule of law, and clearly there has been a failure on that front as well. You know, but I would also like to know, apart from the perpetrators of this heinous crime, you know, the people that were walking around them, the people who blackmailed the police station, you know, who are these people? Were there women involved? Because we've seen time and again, even women playing, unfortunately, and I hate to say this on national television, but we saw with our own eyes women playing a very negative, very detrimental role in this conflict. You know, we've seen groups, and this is only certain sections of women. You know, this does not represent, you know, all the highly dignified and women with great integrity and intelligence in Manipur, but the sections of women we've seen who have prevented, you know, law and order from sort of establishing itself again in Manipur. You know, they need to be held accountable as well. You know, so there are so many stakeholders in a conflict like this, not just, you know, the role of civil society, not just the role of women, you know, but also the role of the state government, the departments that have powers vested in them to, you know, preempt this sort of a situation in the state. Also, the delayed response of the ministers at the center. You know, all these stakeholders need to now take responsibility, because I am quite sure that this is not the only incident that has happened. You know, it was a matter of time when things like this would come out. And I think we are going to see more and more of this come out, which might again have the ability to destabilize, you know, Manipur once again. We've just about seen it, you know, seen the violence taper down. My fear remains that things like this, once they come out, eventually will push Manipur back in, you know, the situation that we've seen it for months. Therefore, I also feel that communities that these men and women belong, the communities that they belong to, should really now come out and take full responsibility of what's happening, hand over these culprits. You know, there should be no need for the police to be having to search for them. They should not have the ability to go into hiding. This is when communities also must show that there is some humanity that still exists. Because let me tell you that, you know, this sort of behavior is not representative of any of these communities. There are decent people that still exist, and we must not lose sight of that. But you know, there's no point of being decent if you're not going to come up and speak against situations like this. There's no point saying that there's still a civil society left if you're not going to voice your opinions. And I think that is the need of the hour to prevent any further escalation of this situation.
You know, you know, I don't want to use the word Rwanda. I don't want to use the word any other areas where civil war had taken place. But it is, Rami, really horrible to see that this happens in our own country. You know, women being subjected to organized violence.
Karthikeya, of course, this is, you know, this is as much as we don't want to compare, but this is one of the repercussions of conflict anywhere in the world, is that vulnerable groups get impacted first. What does this sort of violence have anything to do with any rights being demanded from either of the sides? No, but this is, this sort of miscreant mentality, criminal mentality that takes the forefront in conflicts. Like you and me have discussed, Brijesh has been there when we've said that, the weapons too floating around are not going to be used by people like yourselves and me. It's going to be used by the criminal minded on innocent people. And that is the same situation here. The manipulation of the rule of law on ground, or the ability to be, just being the ability to go on a rampage in a state which is grappling with its law and order, is manipulated by the criminal minded, not by people who have any semblance of decency in them. So this is the kind of segment of society that we see go on the forefront and rise up and not really work towards coming to a conclusion, but really just make the situation worse. And that is what becomes very difficult to control in conflict situations, is the elements that take control like this. It also subdues the civilized voices in a conflict situation, because the focus comes on situations like this, events like this, or people like this. Everybody is going to be talking about, where are these boys? Who were the people around them? I don't think we're going to focus on anything positive that's happening in Manipur.